His real name, Joseph Obasi, and of course we call him Cruz with Joe. He's right here with us in Lagos, Nigeria, all the way from, they say from the east, right?
Yes.
I like to posit it like that. The reason is because of the beauty of social media, democratizing opportunity, and now you're here to have this conversation with us. Welcome to the Morning Brief.
Thank you so much for having me.
We've seen what you can do and what you're doing. The curiosity here is, why did you choose this option?
Okay, so I can say I chose that line. I think it's something that busted out of mistake, because I was just a food vendor. I was just a food vendor who was basically trying to create content, because these days, if you notice, food vendors are going out of their way. Those who have like content creation ability, they go out of their way to entertain their customers. So I used to be like that until one of my content went as far as, making it to all the blogs. And then my customers also encouraged me to create like a separate page where I can put all of that so it does not interfere with my food content. So I've been trying to keep up basically since that time till now.
Amazing.
Brilliant. So it's quite interesting. You started off with food.
Yeah, I'm still there, though.
I know, I'm going to get there. And then you climbed up the ladder, or at least you ventured into another sphere. So it looks like your followership for content regarding comedy and culture is even bigger than your followership for food.
Exactly.
You also do radio.
Yes.
If I'm correct. You're also like a model of sorts. At least we can see from the outfit you're wearing. you represent brands. You've done brand activations and the rest. I'm just trying to paint the picture of what can happen when people really look deep down and tap into their skills. I was going to start by saying Igbo Queen. I served in Ebonyi State, and one of the things that still hurts today is the fact that I didn't learn the language well. So help us understand how using your culture, your language to present comedy, how it became a game changer for you, really.
Okay, so like I told you, it was not pre-planned. It's something that busted out, and the more I tried to do it, the more I tried to hold on to it, the more I see how deep, it is. And I figured that some contents are funny. I don't know if it's something unique to me, but then these contents are really funny if you understand Igbo dialect. There's something about the dialect, there's something about your language that you cannot, necessarily... a joke, let me put it this way, a joke in Igbo, or a joke in Yoruba, or a joke in Hausa, when you translate it, it's no longer a joke. It might not be funny anymore. So it takes someone who understands Igbo dialect or the Igbo language to enjoy the joke. Then when you have like a lot of people coming under the comment section to say, oh my God, this guy, you're so crazy, you just have to continue, because there's a word there, there is a life there, so you just have to continue.
So we'll talk about the culture aspect, but I see that you talk about a myriad of things on your platform, from relationships to so many things, so to speak. So help us understand how you view situations and how you translate them into comedy and the content that you post.
Okay, so there are some things that will happen and I choose to address them, but I go through the comedy route. Okay, now these days people get triggered easily, especially when you address their situations. They get triggered easily, and before you know it, they're already screaming cyber bullying, cyber this, cyber that. So, but then you also believe that that thing is very funny. It's something that, as social media citizens, you can't just sweep it under the carpet. So we just go through the comedy route, balance it, just balance it a little bit, but then still pass your message.
So do you get like some backlash? Because I see that you're trying to be around the fine line of... comedy can be used to excuse a lot of things.
Yes, that's right. That's right. But then the idea is not to be on the fine line. The idea is not to do things that I would term unnecessary. There are some things you don't have to do. Before you do something, you want to ask yourself, why are you doing this? Do you have to do it? Do you understand it? For instance, why do you have to come online and then dissect someone's real life situation and give it like a serious look, give it like a serious approach? Why are you doing that? So how about you just go through the comedy route if you must do that, like make it lighter, make the situation a lighter one, and that's what I do.
you still teach us, you give us like Igbo language starter pack. Some of the things you need to learn, the words you must know if you want to learn the Igbo language. You get to that.
Not crosswords.
Just those everyday words that we can use. But what is that thing? Before we get there, what are some of the things, misconceptions? And I think it's something you try to address in your I'm an Igbo content creator and people think I'm this. But what are the wider misconceptions people or you've seen people express about the Igbo culture, the Igbo people, and you're like, that's not us, obviously, and you maybe are trying to dispel some of those misconceptions or stereotypes? What are some of those things you've noticed?
Well, personally, I don't think I've noticed anything that has not already been in existence, like an idea or a notion, or I don't think there's anything new to me because I am now an Igbo content creator. No, I think these things have always been there, but I try to excuse myself sometimes because they are not things I can address. When you hear people say, oh, they're demolishing houses in Lagos, and that's because it's from Igbo person. You understand those kind of things. So, but then another thing is the fact that once you create content using your language, it sort of passes this message, but that's not the message actually. That's not the truth. It passes the message that you don't like other languages, or you just want to force your language on other people, especially when you don't subtitle, right? But we don't we don't understand that sometimes this is someone's niche, right? I wish I can speak English and still sound funny. It's a wider reach for me. Do you understand? So, but the idea is not because I love the language so much, or I just came out from the shrine of my village and I just want to come and, preserve the culture. This is just a niche. It broke out and I'm trying to preserve it.
Absolutely.
So do you find it limiting that you're only able to be funny in Igbo language, and Igbo language is the medium that you can only use?
No, I don't find it. I don't think I am limited. When I started, I felt that way too because I wanted to collaborate with like a lot of people. At the time, I was really viral with my content. I was on blogs and I wanted to collaborate. It was an opportunity. I could enter any DM and they would answer me. A lot of people were also in my DM, but it was, at some point I felt that way, but I felt like, what if we are all doing English, doing comedy with English? Who is going to do this one? What if, I think there is really a place for someone who is creating content using the language, like someone, because there's always a place for culture. There's brands will look out for, best in this culture, best in this place. Who is the best person to sell this with? Do you understand it? You see breweries using a Yoruba figure to hold the drink. There is always a room. There's a peak for every level in life. So I feel like I'm not limited.
You're talking about brands, so let's talk money.
Okay,
I like that part. Because you're talking sustainability beyond just passion. How viable has it been for you?
Okay, it's been, how do I put it now?
I didn't say tell me how much you charge.
Okay.
We will not ask. Don't worry.
So, I'll just say to God be the glory.
That's what they say at the end of Nollywood films, to God be the glory.
Oh my!
But it's been viable for you.
Yes, it has.
So food, brands, social media, monetization, all of that has been very good. It's been amazing. Trust me, it's been amazing. I've been growing. The thing about content creation is when you get into content creation, bearing money or monetization in mind, you will just suffer. You will never understand passion. You will never have fun creating this content. So this is someone who already has a business that is doing well. You understand? And then I don't have my focus on...
So are you bothered by regulation and the possible call for paying taxes by content creators?
I can't use the word bothered. I can't say bothered. I mean, the whole essence for tax is if you're making money from the system, you should pay back the system. That's how I perceive it, right? But then again, you also need to... When we pay tax, the citizens who are paying tax are expecting something. We are still looking out for what we will gain from paying this tax. Do you understand? So that when there's no balance, it becomes a problem. If there's a balance, why not? We'll pay the tax.
But you appear put together, and you're certainly not put together in your content. Right? Is it because
Because you're
I didn't see that coming.
because you're here with us.
Okay, so here is the thing, right? That's just my niche, right? So I just have to do what I have to do. Well, this is me, sweet
Oh, yeah,
chill
teach us,
guy.
teach us.
Let's go to that
Let's learn.
Coyote starter
Switch.
pack.
Okay.
What are things I need to learn? So we'll pronounce it with you, and then we see if we're doing well.
Okay. Iribole.
Erekole.
Where did you come from again?
I'm your brother now.
So Iribole is how are you, but that is not the general Igbo. We have like the general Igbo, and then we have the Owerri dialect. Even in Imo State, we have different dialects in Imo State. So Igbo is that vast. The Igbo land is
There's Anambra too.
very good. Even in Anambra, there is another dialect inside of Anambra. So Igbo is that vast. The reason why I stand out is because I am doing the Owerri dialect. Is very sweet.
So tell your people watching that you're on the morning brief in the cruise with Joe.
So that's your camera.
That's your camera right there.
Where is it?
It's right there.
Okay, sorry. Let me do this. Someone has to say action.
action?
Oremromni is your boy. Joe Pondek wa mama. Okrepo. Gaga dudu. Plantain sis. Okay. Plantain chips chineke. Awela mpompom na leko. Ebani nubu Channels TV. Ebani jeme he onyonyo. Akogara mu show re wo kemba. Yo ala ya nonga ya gashiela gi.
Come on! Do we add the Igbo Kwenu part too?
Yes, we can.
So, how do we go?
Bueno.
That's enough.
Joseph Obasi, Cruise with Joe, thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
program.
you so much for having me.
And keep up the good work.
Absolutely.
You're doing a great work, and we're just here to support you as much as we can.
Thank you so much.
All right. Guys, that's it on this edition of the program. And of course, tomorrow is going to be a special one for us. It's Democracy Day. By the way, the federal government has declared tomorrow public holidays, June 12th, as we mark 25 years of unbroken democracy. Thank you for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Uzonga.
Don't forget to join us again tomorrow. I am Bukola Koka.
Well, Sunrise Daily is next. So for you that you have joined us and will join us, I say, Dalu. Goodbye.